Hey guys, Don here. Welcome to Podiatry Practice Mastery. Going to go over the $1 Million Minute. These are the things that help get the practice to the $1 million mark and beyond. I want to do a shout out. I've been getting some feedback from some other doctors that have been emailing me. I appreciate the email. There's one that said that they were considering doing shockwave because of kind of these podcasts. If you do decide to do shockwave, I really think it's good to do some training. I think some of the Storts, they have some great courses. In the beginning, what I did is I watched all the videos that I could find. So there are like a lot of videos you can find within the portal within Curamedics. I'm sure there's similar ones for Softwave and for Zimmer. Watching those I think is really good. I think visiting other doctors that have shockwave, that do a lot of it, I think is going to be good for you. You can talk to people on the phone, like you could talk to me, but the problem is if you talk to someone, you only get that like 5 or 10 minutes that you have on the phone with them, and you really need to spend a day with someone, or even go to a course so you can learn how to do it better. Most likely within the same specialty, it'll make it a lot easier for you. So that would be my recommendation if you're considering doing shockwave in your office. The other thing the doc was wondering was what I use for how I switch from Terbinafine to like diflucan. I usually do Terbinafine for 3 months, and if I'm not seeing proximal nail clearing, I'm going to switch them to something else, because I would expect that after about 3 months. So then diflucan, it's 200 milligrams once a day for 6 months. So I usually do 90 days and then a refill for another 90 days so the patients can get the 90-day prescription. So that's kind of how I do that. If you want to see all of them, you go to patientpresentations.com. You can get my presentations on there, or a link to all of mine. And in the presentation on nail fungus, I have it written out, my kind of how I treat with Terbinafine and Sporanox and diflucan. Okay, so we are going to do a little feedback here of day one of Go Live. So we're Go Live with ModMed here, day one. So we had a trainer. We had two trainers, actually, because we have two offices. So we had a trainer in my Worcester office and a trainer in the Westboro office. And we were training all day. So they were helping with the staff. They were kind of helping. They had like an open, I don't know, it's a Google Meet or something like that, or Teams that was open. They were explaining how to check patients in. They were explaining how to upload things. I think we're probably going to have to end up going to iPads. Like right now, all of our rooms have computers in them, but it seems like the iPad method works a little bit better. One of the challenges I'm realizing for me is if I have a scribe, I'm going to have to memorize kind of what is the rationale within it, because a lot of it is like click as you go. For example, if you choose a wound, it gives a lot of other questions that it asks you about the wound. And so if I don't have the iPad in front of me, I'm going to have to like remember everything, or tell Morali everything that's in there. So he's struggling with this. I'm struggling with this. It was funny towards the end of the day. He's like, I just want to go. And like the end of the day was the time where we were going over all the notes. So I was tending to see about 3 patients, and then I went over the notes with the kind of the trainer that was with us, and she was explaining a few things for it. It's a little bit different than Athena, which I'm very, very familiar with. It has a lot of, you have to kind of know where the things are and know what things are called, so they have their different nomenclature. So if you have ModMed, you know this. You probably know this better than I do. But so day one was a little bit frustrating. I think we reduced our patient list to about 15 patients. In terms of the most profitable patient was a patient that was originally seen for plantar fasciitis and ended up doing bilateral shockwave. She had it in the past, and so I tend to kind of honor their previous amount. They paid $200 last time, so I just did $200, but it was bilateral, so it was $400. She's going to do 6 sessions, and then I also recommended doing orthotics at the 3rd session. That was the main. I can't even remember what else happened yesterday. I tried to print out a patient list, and it got all messed up, so I can't even remember what else I did. But I was just kind of pushing through, trying to get through the notes. I was trying a little bit to do the notes with the patients in the treatment room, but it was kind of hard to do. So I was most likely I went to treat, and then I went and did the notes after. Morali was just kind of lost all day long. So it was Not comfortable. I have some notes I'm putting into Notion. So Notion is like this notebook that I have, so different things. But the main things that I was pointing out, I'm feeling confident about is there is a way to get to higher level visits, so level 3s and level 4s, with either changing the medical decision making or adding other kind of documentation. There's not as much typing and there's more clicking, and so I'm still kind of working on how to kind of set those things up. What I did to kind of keep my mind in the right place for this is I'm going to be doing a positive focus, or it's called it's positive focus. It's a technique where I have I think it's 8 or 10 kind of positive things that happen during the day. So I'm writing those down just to kind of keep my mind in the positive position. The funny thing is, I was talking to a couple of my colleagues afterwards, and they're like, they had 15 open notes, and I left at 6 o'clock, and the other doc left at about 6:30 or 7. And one of them left earlier, but he didn't finish any of his notes. So it's kind of a struggle to figure out the notes, but this is the only way we're going to do it, and we've done it. This is the third time. So something that kind of builds my confidence is knowing, well, we've done it in the past. We'll get through it this time. It's not comfortable. What was one of our strengths in the past in Athena is that we were all fast typers. With ModMed, there's not as much typing. It's more clicking, so I don't think being a fast typer really helps that much. It actually might be a detriment. Because of the iPad, the click and go type of a thing. But I think we're kind of working through it. I will let you know. So it was day 1. It was, I don't know if fun's the right word. A couple of other things, just personal things. I think, I'm not the most handy. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but my kids make fun of me about 2 things. They call me, when they say it's flabby daddy, because I'm getting a little belly on me. That's the first thing. And then I put up some shelves for my boy. One of these, these floating shelves, the ones that have these little pins sticking out of them. Well, didn't turn out all that well, and they kind of fell. And my kids put their, a lot of heavy stuff. I think the problem was the heavy stuff that they put on there, but they said it was the shelves were bad. But anyway, they took off the shelves. So I was trying to change the fire alarms. Our house, there's original fire alarms. It's about 10 years old, so they're starting to beep all the time. And so I could change 2 of them, but there's 2 of them I wasn't able to change. The funny thing is I have a friend, he's an electrician, and he came in and changed 2 of those things. He swapped out 4 ceiling lights, all in about an hour. And I was thinking to myself, this is the difference between a specialist and a home improvement guy. He just did it so quick, so easy, and then charged me $400 for it. But, I couldn't do it. I tried it. I got frustrated. I'm like, this is way worth it paying for this. So that was a good thing. So if you can't do stuff, pay people. That's why we have a job like we do. And then the second good thing is my dad finally has a primary care here, and he had his first day of adult daycare. Now, this was a struggle. I was losing sleep over it. I'm like, is he going to like it? And because my wife has to bring him there, and it was good because it's vacation time for the kids right now. So the kids are at home. The pool is cleaned. The yard was done by other people. Pool was opened by someone else. And they like to leave the pool at 76. So it's super hot in there, and the kids played all day yesterday. And my wife was more relaxed. So I think in the way she explained it to him, this was great. I thought she said, "Oh, we're going to go to the senior center," and so brought him to the senior center. He didn't know any difference. He hung out there. There's activity all day. And when he got home, he said, man, there's a lot of really old seniors there. Because I think he might be one of the younger ones. But it's giving my wife some respite. So that is what's going on right now. So there's a lot of good things with my dad and the situation there. Practice, we're still kind of pushing through. I'll let you know how day 2 goes today with the go live. Okay? Once again, if you have any ideas or things, shoot me an email, don@podiatrypracticemastery.com. There's a lot of things on there they can help you with. There's the audit, there's the patient presentations. These are all on the bottom of that webpage on Podiatry Practice Mastery. And the first newsletter I'm thinking might go out today by Al. So check your email if you do get my emails. If you don't, you can go sign up for anything, and then you'll be added to my email list. There's going to be hopefully a weekly email going out. Okay, thanks.